So welcome everybody. It's a great pleasure and an honor to have you all here today. Is the microphone working? Can everybody hear me well?
Closer to my mouth. That's going to come a little bit of this later. So my name is Francesco Bolo. I'm a faculty and the chair of the Mechanical Engineering Department. And this is our yearly convocation. It's our 2016 event. I think it's the 13th consecutive event we've had. We have a busy agenda, lots of topics. We'll welcome everybody, review some awards that staff, faculty, and students have received, and then we'll award this year's Graduate Student Awards, and we'll award our Distinguished Alumnus Award, and then we will have a little research-oriented event called the Grad Slam. Our talented graduate students will present short research pitches, ideas, and then we'll have a reception, and then we'll come back for a special feature that we'll hopefully encounter. Now, first of all, let me give you all my welcome back to school for the new year, to all our senior undergraduates who have been invited and are happy to be here, our graduate students, and then special staff and faculty, and then especially thank you and welcome to the first-year graduate students who've just entrusted us with the responsibility and privilege to serve as your teachers and mentors. So welcome you all. I know Professor Ju will go over this with your teacher. Let me give you just 2 minutes about the department, just to introduce you to the new ones of you and the ones who may not have heard about it. We have 300 graduate students, 64 to 70 PhD students, graduate students and PhD students, 26 faculty members, including some that are on leave of absence right now and that are going to be joining us shortly, and 10 lecturers, engineers, and staff that help us execute on our 3 missions of research, teaching, and public service. I'd like to welcome Professor Irene Byline. She's not here with us today, and Professor Samantha Daly, who happens to be here with us today. Welcome to campus, as well as our newly hired marketing and communication coordinator, Mariah Flag. I don't see Mariah right now, but I think she was here a second ago and had to step up. Now, the department has a broad range of research interests with core scientific areas that are very traditional and innovative inside mechanical engineering, bioengineering and systems biology, computational sciences and engineering, control and dynamical systems, as well as mechanics of fluids, mechanics of materials, mechanics of structures, and then also a great program on micro and nanoscience, micro and nano science and technology. And then we focus our research on a number of application areas that have societal impact. We really pride ourselves on our collaborative research, and these are just 2 examples of grants of new research projects that have been funded lately that are going to be starting soon. Congratulations to our colleague, Professor Kimberly Turner, Megan Valentine, and Principal Investigator Adele Doyle, as well as to Professor Paolo Zatofagis and Ekrem Mayberg. They're going to be working respectively on a microfluidics MEMS approach to study force-induced changes in neurons. So that's a prestigious award, one of the few in the country from the new NSF emphasis on neural and cognitive systems. And then the exciting part of the work by Professor Zatofagis and Mayberg on sediment dynamics is that this will entail also some advanced experiments on the International Space Station. So congratulations to all of the student and faculty staff that are engaged in research. That's a great mission of the department. I also want to spend a minute to talk about our great undergraduate program. We have a program that is rooted in the fundamentals of the field, and then also is complemented by lots of hands-on, design experiences throughout the curriculum. And while I should thank all of the faculty and instructors, let me just have a shout out for the design team. I'm going to refer to them that way. Professor Tyler Susko, I'll talk about him in a second, as well as the director of the other program, Professor Payton, our fantastic 4 development engineers, Dave Bothman, Kirk Fields, Greg Allen, and Ron Marks. I'm not sure they're here today with us. Our machine shop staff, and the academic coordinator, Steve Laguette, who handles the industrial relationships in setting up for the capstone design program. And some recent highlights for the undergraduate program have to do with some improvements. A new program that we've started, including, well, we've hired Tyler, who's run our capstone design program, and as you know, last year he won the Distinguished Faculty Award from the graduate and senior. We started the combined bachelor master's program. I think it's in its second or third year beginning now, depending on how you count. We started new multidisciplinary design projects for our undergraduates. We got a full reaccreditation from ABES and made a number of improvements to our undergraduate curriculum. So these are very exciting times. Let me now get off the stage and introduce Professor Frédéric Dubourg, who will once again welcome the first year students.
Francisco. So I would like to welcome the graduate students. This is going to be the best time of your life. I remember when I was a grad student, I never heard that over and over again from colleagues. This is the best time of your life. You are going to acquire knowledge, you are going to acquire skills that are going to help you fulfill your career, but also you are going to search to create knowledge, and you are going to discover things, which is very rewarding. So like Francisco said, the department is solidly in the top 10 departments. It's a very strong department. It offers a wide range of classes, seminars, expertise, so you can tailor the education that is right for you and fulfill your career goals. Definitely take advantage of the interdisciplinary nature of our campus, and maybe try to solve problems that you wouldn't be able to solve if you were just within one discipline. The faculty and the staff are happy that you have chosen UCSB, and we'll be here to help you in any way we can. So welcome everybody, and I would like to introduce you by name. We'll be doing now. So we have in the PhD program we have Pascal Ackerman. Pascal here? Yeah. Maybe you can stand up and then. I know you, a lot of your colleagues know you, but not everybody. So we have Pouria, Miss Tani. Pouria here. Yeah. Oh, yes. Anna Itzolitz. Anna, you will make it, okay. Karthik, Shigmakadu. Alexandra Downs. Zhao Ming Duen. Alex Eden. Elizabeth Wang. Simon Stewart. Jennifer Walker. And Philip Wang. All right. We have also some master students, Ming Yu Lin, Sean Mackenzie, and Jan Zhang Wang. Okay. Finally, we have introduced a BSMS program a couple of years ago, and we have so one student who is entering the master's year, which is Franklin Zeng. And then we also have many BSMS students that enter the senior year of the bachelor's, and we have 11 of them. I'm just going to read the names, not to stand up. So we have John Abraham, Jared Kadek, Michael Cosley, Matthew Devol Gerard, sorry for butchering the name, Madeline Deepel, Brandon Greenberg, Zachary Guilford, Brooks Peterson, Erin Son, Chris Watch, and Sean Long. So that's for the graduate student. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the SME student chapter that for the work that we do, for the contribution to the profession, and also for the undergraduate that could participate to the convocation today. So now I'm going to give the turn to Kira Victoria, who has some good news for us.
Thank you. I'm Kimberly Turner, and it's my great pleasure to announce all the awards and accolades people earned over the last year. So I'm going to do the faculty awards first, and if I could, just to save time, I'll read through the whole list, and then we can give everyone a round of applause at the end. All right. So first off, our esteemed chair, Francesco Bulla, was the plenary lecturer at the IEEE Conference on Decision and Control, and received the Distinguished Member Award for the IEEE Control Systems Society in 2015. Professor Igor Mezic was elected Fellow of the APS. Professor Emeritus Robert Odette got the 2015 TMS Structural Materials Division Best Paper Award, and was also elected Fellow of the TMS Society in 2016. Professor Eric Myberg was invited keynote speaker at the 65th Annual Canadian Chemical Engineering Conference in Calgary. Linda Petzold won the Siam Prize for Distinguished Service to the Profession in 2016. And Chancellor Henry Yang, who also happens to be a member of our department, won the AAEOY Distinguished Lifetime Achievement Award from the Chinese Institute of Engineers in the USA division. He also won the CSAC Lifetime Achievement Award for Chinese Engineers and Scientists Association of Southern California, and the Tech Connect National Innovation Award for bio-inspired hydraulic actuator to stabilize buildings in natural disasters. Let's give everyone a big round of applause. Next up, the grad students. So we have two categories. One is for recent alumni. A couple of our alumni have made outstanding achievements, including John Simpson Porco, who was the 2015 Best PhD Thesis Award for the Center for Controlled Dynamical Systems and Computation, and Florian Dorfler, who for his work at UCSB during his PhD, he was the recipient of the 2016 Guiman Kauer Best Paper Award for the IEEE Transactions on Circuits and Systems. So let's give them a round of applause. And now on to the current ME grad students. And just so we all know who you are, if I call your name, could you stand up? And then again, we'll save the applause for the end. First, we have Raphael Egan, the recipient of the Fellowship for Graduate Studies awarded by the Belgian American Education Foundation. The BAEF supports the exchange of university students, scientists, and scholars between the U.S. and Belgium. Next, we have Brian Emery, who was the recipient of the NOAA Automated Comparisons for IOOS High-Frequency Radar Quality Control, given for developing quality control metrics for oceanographic HF radars and producing these in an automated way so they're available operationally. And finally, Alexandra Downs, who's recipient of the NSF Graduate Research Fellowship Program starting this fall, and also the recipient of the 2016 Doctor Scholars Central Graduate Division Fellowship. Let's give the three of them a And our final category is for the Junior Design Project winners from last spring. This is always an exciting time when we have our design review, so I'm happy to revisit these projects. There's three categories. The first category was most innovative, and this went to the self-actuating skateboard brake. And the members of that team were Joyce Martinez, Dane Frederick, Farzan Koharansani, Michael Cosley, John Winterling, and Louis Walsh. The second category was most marketable, and that went to remote bicycle lock. And that team was Sean Wang, Jake Karad, Vishwendu Rao, Shangju Li, and Kwan Sung. And the final award was for technical excellence, and that went to the collapsible dishwasher. I'd like to have seen that in action. That went to Austin Semmelroth, Kevin Griffin, Mike Reineman, Tim DeVisser, and Dylan Shackelford. Congratulations to everyone. I think I give the mic back.
All right, so we also have two other awards for current students, the Best Key Award and the Best PhD Award. So the Best Key Award goes to Kevin Arson. So Kevin, come here. So congratulations, Kevin. So Kevin was one of the key champion that all students love, and also I would cite he played a core role in the development of an online course and helped to refine the content in response to the feedback of the students enrolled in the new course. So on behalf of the department, I thank you for your work and give you this award. Cool. Thank you. And then we have, every year, we have the Best PhD Award, which is, so all the candidates who have finished their PhD in the past 2 years can be contenders. And this year it was awarded to Dan Wilson. And I cite the committee selected Dan for extensive and impactful work on model reduction for treatment of neurological disease and cardiac arrhythmias, enabling practical experimental implementations and potential therapy. So Dan is not here, like a lot of successful students. Once they finish here, they have a job lined up or they do postdoc in prestigious place. So I'm going to give this PhD award to his advisor, Jeff Mollis. The check will go to Dan. Maybe you want to say a few words about it?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so if you're not paying attention, you might be like, oh my gosh, am I going to be this old when I finish graduate school? No, I was the advisor of the person who won. Dan was here for 5 years, but he was phenomenally productive while he was here. So he published, and I kind of lost count, but he published roughly 15 journal articles while he was here, which is a very large number. And it wasn't just the number, though, it was the quality of the publications. So as Frederick mentioned, he did work that was related to a treatment for Parkinson's disease. We think that this may lead ultimately to a better treatment for Parkinson's disease using something called deep brain stimulation. We're trying to patent it. We'll see what happens there. He also did some very nice fundamental work, generalizing a concept known as phase reduction to systems which have stable fixed points, whereas in the past it's always been applied to stable periodic orbits. So that was a very nice fundamental contribution. But then he used that to work on developing a better, possibly a better treatment for some cardiac arrhythmias. So it was a real great mix between sort of fundamental contributions and applications that might actually impact people's lives. So it was a great pleasure to advise him. I can't take too much credit for this, but as a little pep talk for the students that are out there, your work can actually make a difference and can actually change lives. And I think that's maybe a mark of a good engineer if you're aspiring to do that sort of thing. So go for it. Sorry, so he's now a postdoc at the University of Pittsburgh in mathematics with a very distinguished mathematical neuroscientist named Bart Ehrmantraut, and he plans to stay in academia, and in a couple of years, I think he will probably end up at a very good place. So it'll be fun to watch what he does.
So now is the time when I would like to talk to you about our Mechanical Engineering Distinguished Alumnus Award. This award is presented each year to an exceptional individual who has demonstrated exceptional achievement in the fields of mechanical engineering. Announcements for nominations are broadly disseminated. We also use our social media presence. We contact all faculty, staff, students, and friends of the department. As time progresses, please do keep this award in mind and submit nominations. So this year's recipient, this is a list of past recipients. We started this award in 2014 in occasion of the 50th anniversary of the fund. So this year's recipient is an outstanding reflection of the values and qualities recognized by this award, and is an example for future mechanical engineers to see graduates to see what they can and are capable to achieve. This year's winner is Mr. John W. Lake, class of 1970. John attended Bakersfield High School. He then graduated from this department in 1970 with the Bachelor of Science, and then after that served in the U.S. Naval Reserve. After attending graduate school at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, he worked for Gulf General Atomic on an HDGR reactor project. Let me talk to you briefly about his entrepreneurial and corporate leadership career. He started working for a company called Rain for Rent in 1974, worked his way through many aspects of the company's operations, such as engineering, manufacturing, leasing, and wholesale. He served as president of the company for 24 years, from 1990 to 2014, when he stepped down from his position as joint president and CEO. And recently, he came back out of retirement to assist the company with its sales efforts as executive vice president. So during his tenure as CEO and president of the company expanded into the industrial and environmental tank, pump, pipeline, and water filtration businesses. The company now has 70 sales, rental, and manufacturing locations and over 2,000 employees. He also oversaw a number of activities, including the expansion of the company to a broader number of areas inside and outside the U.S., Rocky Mountains, East Coast, Midwest, Gulf Coast, Southeast, as well as the Canadian and European markets. He oversaw the creation of a company called Power Plant Pumps, which manufacture pumps for the agricultural and industrial markets, as well as of the development of their specialized rental division that specializes in the rental of filtration and large emergency pumping units. On top of his entrepreneurial leadership activities, John was also involved in design and hold a number of patents on products that are used in the pipeline and tank rental businesses. And on top of all of his professional activity, he also has a notable set of activities and distinctions in public service. In 2004, John facilitated the hosting by Event for Rain of President George W. Bush for his economic forum held in Bakersfield. This event brought international visibility and interest in the community there and in the company Rain for Rent. In 2000, so Rain for Rent is also instrumental and assisted in the pumping out of flooded areas in New Orleans during and after Hurricane Katrina in 2005, and for Hurricane Sandy when it hit in 2012 New York and New Jersey. John serves on the Cal Poly San Luis Obispo University Foundation Advisory Board. He's active in the Bakersfield Quest Club, the Idaho Irrigation Association, the Safari Club International, and serves as chairman and director of the California Agricultural Leadership Board. Let me conclude by saying that John and his wife Sheila are now residents of Montana. They have 2 sons and 3 grandchildren. So having said that, please join me in extending a warm round of applause and welcome to our 2016 Distinguished Alumnus Award of the Year for the UCSD Mechanical Engineering Department, Mr. John.
And I cut my thermodynamics class. To go surfing. Okay, thank you. It's good to live long enough to be able to come back to your university and give a speech. And, I had a lot of fun here, and a lot of interesting things I'd like to share with you. I'd like to thank you for inviting me to the Mechanical Engineering Convocation, and we're here to welcome, of course, the grad students and this year's senior students and celebrate awards. I really like awards. It's incredible achievements here in advancement in technology. Today my assignment, and I'm like a student, I'm going to try to follow my assignment, to tell you how my mechanical engineering experience prepared me for my career and give you a very short review of life after college. And lastly, some advice. My hope is that this short speech will stimulate you to think about 1 or 2 actions you can adopt that will enhance your success at work and home. You're going to bear with me a little bit. My education started here in 1967. I transferred from UCLA. The class size was 400, 200. I'm going to digress a little bit. I went to my first calculus class. I couldn't spell it because I was going to be an engineer. And a professor came out on a stage of 400 people and said, and he spoke, kind of broken, and he says, how many students already have calculus? And I was trying to figure out what it was. Everybody held up their hand but me. He said, good, we skipped to chapter 4. That was UCLA. And I go, whoa, this is competitive here. Little did I know what a life-changing decision it was to come here. I would meet my wife, Sheila, who was living with the dean here, where I had to go to pick her up. And I met many friends, lifelong friends, and I learned how to solve problems. The small class size and engaged professors and staff made learning enjoyable. But more than just enjoyable, it's personal relationships. Dr. Romer, Dr. Sennett, and Dr. Horvath, when we started the bioengineering classes, were people that could really teach you and transfer knowledge. We had everything, fluid dynamics, control systems, thermodynamics. We even had art and literature, those classes you love to take outside of your major. The senior project team I worked on with my 3 great friends was to design and construct a curb climbing wheelchair. We were encouraged to do that by a bioengineering department that was just starting up. And we learned about compassion. It was shocking to go to a clinic where there's paraplegics and quadriplegics, young people, skateboards and motorcycles usually, who've been brain injured. And it really brought a lifelong desire to help people to me. And we designed this curb climbing wheelchair here And it was before they passed ADA, the law, Americans with Disability Act, that allowed handicapped people access to restrooms and curbs and going up a curb, going up a stair. So we designed that, and we learned a lot about ourselves. But there's a lot more to UC Santa Barbara in those days. My campus experience, there was riots, there was fires, there was Vietnam, social upheaval. We invented hippies in my generation. Cool. I mean, really. There was attack upon churches. My parents were attacked by a mob in Isla Vista when my wife was participating in a beauty pageant. There was the death of a student, Kevin Moran, who died in my college roommate's hands in Isla Vista when he was accidentally shot by the National Guard when they took over the campus. The collapse of civil discourse and a lack of diversity of thought on campus was shocking to this Bakersfield redneck. And it caused me to think. The engineers mobilized during a riot and banded together to protect our engineering building from rioters and arsonists. This was a time of complete social upheaval in the United States. And we, on this campus, were the Senate with Kent State, if you do your history lessons. Through those trials, we learned about real life. We learned about intolerance on both sides of issues. These experiences and my engineering education helped me mature. Then, I was drafted. Many would say I won the lottery. So we all sat around, and we watched them pull these numbers out of the lottery thing, and they had your birthday on it, and they said, all right, you can, in my case, your number 124. So either serve your country or run. So I had been accepted at Stanford for my graduate degree, and I decided I better enlist in the Navy Reserve as a radar technician. So UCSB to the military, from flag burning to understanding the cost of freedom. Boot camp. It's where you learn to obey and do things you don't want to do, or you have option B, go to the brig. A very unpleasant place. Then I went through electronics training, which in radar school, which I excelled at. Why? Because of my great education here. Because somebody made me take an IE class, or 2 or 3 of them. I did well. I got out. I went to graduate school, went to work for Gulf General Atomic, and we had a high-temperature helium-cooled reactor program. We built the first helium-cooled reactor in Colorado on Platteville. And I entered an engineering management program. I volunteered, or someone volunteered me, and I moved to Colorado. There, this engineer met face-to-face with union labor, fitters, welders, construction managers, safety people, security people, operating engineers, and a 24/7 plant operation, meaning you got to do shift work. I discovered engineers need to listen to the instrument technicians, the welders, the fitters, the control room operators, and learn the safety procedures, especially at a facility like that. In those days, you could walk in like Homer Simpson with a coffee cup in the control room and talk to the guys. We have knowledge. These people have knowledge, these technicians, but they've got experience, which most of us don't have at that time. General Atomic was a highly proactive educational facility. You were required to take 2 lifelong learning classes in your discipline every semester on the General Atomic campus. And so I got my EIT and I passed my PE exam in mechanical engineering. Then Sheila and I decided to return to California. She taught English as a second language in a farm labor camp. And I returned to Rainfront, which you heard all that story. So we take pumps and pipe and filtration and heat machines, tanks, instrumentation, and combine it all like Legos. I'm like a giant Lego guy. And we make a temporary liquid handling system that provides a solution to a customer. From a clarifier in a refinery or a municipal sewer treatment plant, to a PCB water treatment system on an environmental cleanup site, from an irrigation of 10,000 acres of citrus on the Nile River in Egypt, to pumping out New Orleans and after the Hurricane Katrina, from oil fields to carrot fields. And if you're wondering, My name is John. I'm a dirty fracker. We're involved in producing food, providing you with materials by getting water where it belongs and away from where it doesn't belong. Problem solving, fact finding, team building, establishing design criteria to build these liquid handling solutions was what my job was. The full UC Santa Barbara experience prepared me for critical problem solving, both technically and socially. Enough about my experience. I want to give you something to use. Your mechanical engineering education is preparing you with knowledge and skills that can be leveraged to success by your own attitude and effort. You have access to the best engineering minds in America to build your knowledge and skills. In addition to knowledge and skills, each one of you has secret sauce. That's called talent. That special skill or aptitude is completely unique to you. Some of you can do music, art, athletics, have extreme compassion, empathy, or great faith. As you sit here today and look around, you can think of somebody that possesses knowledge and skills and talent that are possibly greater than your own. Likewise, you have fellow students whose lack of effort and positive attitude cripples their effectiveness. But your knowledge, skills, and talent can take you as far as your effort and attitude lead you. Soon you'll be equipped with this great education. You'll be entering a diverse workplace. You'll have supervisors, subordinates, vendors, customers, buyers, compliance officers, and heaven forbid you will meet a government regulator. These are also known as people. These people we have to work with, because now, when you leave here, you will have a thing called a job. And you're going to be in the people business. You're going to be a technology person in the people business. And being engineers, we often approach people problems with idealistic concept that if the problem is properly defined, a solution will be achieved. This is all engineers in this room too. Now that may work with things and processes. It doesn't work very well with people. Unfortunately, not every people problem needs fixing. And sometimes no one wants you to fix their feelings. Instead, they want you to listen. My first gift to you, of course, is we all know engineers are renowned for our people skills. At least I got one laughing on it. Here's my advice point for success. Learning how to listen and listen carefully to your customers, your boss, your subordinate, your teammate, until you clearly understand and mutually agree on the opportunity or problem that you're facing. Make no mistake, listening is really hard work. We live in a very distracted world. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, WhatsApp. Just stop and listen with your eyes, your ears, and with your body language. Remember Grandma? You know, if you wanted to talk to Grandma, she kind of expected you to look at her, you know, and listen. Your full attention is hard. Listening to the other person should result in clear understanding. After you quietly listen, you can clarify your thoughts and tell them what you heard. You can get verification and confirmation as to the facts. Listen until all parties on your team have agreement. Then start working on a solution as an aligned team. Listening, verifying, clarifying, and confirming builds understanding. Probably the number one skill we all need to practice. Now I'm going to tell you a very short story and give you one takeaway. My dear friend Norm, vice president of our company, was a pithy, direct, wise leader and mentor of many. His advice was delivered in normisms, quotes and directions to help people grow, stretch a skill, or solve a problem. Norm didn't just spout out these cute quotes, he acted on them by example. If I needed someone to move to Chicago and fix a problem, he said, pick me, I'll go. If I had a tough customer problem, Norm would say, pick me, I'll go. If there was a flood in Katrina and there was no power, people living in motels with no power for weeks, and people shooting at our guys, putting pumps out, while they were busy robbing the houses that were flooded, right? National Guard is there maintaining peace while we're trying to pump. Norm said, pick me, I'll go down there. Your challenge is this: there'll be an opportunity on campus. There'll be one at work. There'll be one in the community. There'll be one in your church that's inconvenient. It's uncomfortable. It's difficult. And you don't want to do it. But I'm telling you right now, if you stand up and say, pick me, you're going to have the ride of a lifetime. I've done it a couple times. You'll miss Christmas. You'll be in Dubai on a project. No one else would go there. You'll be in Namibia helping engineers without borders. You'll be in a nuclear power plant during an outage. But your willingness to serve as a servant leader starts with, pick me. I'll go, I'll volunteer, try it. It'll generate a life-changing experience for you. Now, lucky for you, this is my last point. The power of appreciation, gratitude, recognition, building goodwill. First, a warning to you all, and I am number one in this one. 3 things you cannot turn back. A bullet. For those of you, anybody been in the military? 2 of us. Part of the 1%. You know what Mike Tyson said? The best fighting plan is eliminated the first time you get hit in the face. So all your training helps a lot until the first bullet comes toward you. You can't send a bullet, retrieve a bullet, a bad text, or a bad email, or an ill-spent, demeaning word to a colleague or friend. It destroys relationships. These things in the workplace don't work. So I encourage all of us, including myself, to wait before you consider hitting that send button or saying something that harms relationships. Now my interactive part comes, where's my assistants, my able assistants? I have to pass out something to you. It's free. It's free. Everything should be free. Right? I like free. So soon in your hand is going to be a stamped envelope and a blank thank you note. I'm going to challenge you, you don't have to do it, to write a note, a real life handwritten note. Not an email, not a text, not a twit, not a post, an actual note of gratitude, appreciation, and recognition to someone who helped you out, who helped you get through or into this university. An aunt, an uncle, a mom, a dad, a professor who inspired you and encouraged you. The power of positive feedback and your personal acknowledgement of appreciation is greater than gravity. Believe me, when it comes to relationship building, telling somebody you love and appreciate them is greater than gravity. They'll never forget you. Do it. Make it a habit. People will know that you love them. Right now, some of you have grannies who want to know that you love them. So write her a note on me. So we come to the end of my little speech. I want you to consider 3 things for your future. 1, listen. And then listen some more. 2, be like Norm. Hold up your hand. Pick me. Volunteer for that tough job. Believe me, it's a life changer. And thank you note. Do these things, I guarantee your career in life will be full of changes and experiences that will help you grow. Let's go create solutions that serve people, create good health, enhance safety for the public and prosperity in our great communities, nation, and the world. Thank you for the recognition and the opportunity to share. I really appreciate it, and I'm proud of all of you and of this university, especially the Mechanical Engineering Department, which is clearly the best engineering department in the whole college. Thank you. Take a picture, can you Photoshop it?
No.
You gonna do it?
Oh, I brought it to the-
Yeah. Thank you.
award. So,